File photo. Ramos, Executive Director of the Electric Power Authority of Puerto Rico, PREPA, attends a news conference in San Juan. The head of Puerto Rico's indebted utility has resigned following criticism of the slow restoration of power to the island after Hurricane Maria, the U.S. territory's governor said. Ricardo Ramos, who was named head of the Puerto Rico Electric Power Authority, PREPA, in 2016, was also criticized over controversial contracts. His resignation was effective Friday, Governor Ricardo Rossello said in a statement. Rossello recommended Justo Gonzalez as interim director, according to a separate statement. Gonzalez is currently director of power generation at PREPA, a role he took on in April 2017. Gonzalez previously was the company's planning and environmental protection director and operations manager of the Aguirre steam plant. PREPA's board will meet later on Friday to discuss who will succeed Ramos, who was appointed by Rossello. Rossello said he supported a search within and outside Puerto Rico to fill the role permanently. "I'm hoping they do it as quickly as possible," said Jose Roman Morales, interim chairman of Puerto Rico's Energy Commission, which regulates PREPA. Ramos was not immediately available for comment. Maria knocked out power to all 3.4 million residents of Puerto Rico in late September, and only about half the island's power has been restored. The island has also experienced intermittent power interruptions to populated areas that had seen electricity restored over the past few weeks. http://tmsnrt rs2jydf9s. In a webcast update on restoration efforts, Ramos said that 55% of generation had been restored as of Friday, and additional lines have been repaired that have not yet been charged to provide electricity. The highest peak of generation that we have had is 50%. In this week, we had about 3 general blackouts in the island that kept San Juan in the dark for most of the week. "That is totally unacceptable," said Tomas Torres, executive director of the nonprofit Institute for Competitiveness and Sustainable Economy for Puerto Rico. It took a week before PREPA was able to assess the damages from the storm, which knocked out about 8% of its transmission capabilities. Ramos was criticized for signing a $300 million contract with a little-known Montana company, Whitefish Energy Holdings, to restore power, and because he did not request aid from U.S. utilities. That is a normal procedure following storms. A week after the storm, the Federal Emergency Management Agency put the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in charge of restoring power, which is usually the responsibility of the local utility. The Corps has been working with several utilities, including PREPA. On October 31, the governor said early efforts had fallen short and finally turned to U.S. utilities for assistance, asking for hundreds of crews and vast fleets of trucks to repair the grid. Transmission lines weaving through the mountainous center of the island were cut off by the hurricane, which hammered the island with winds up to 155 miles per hour, 250 kilometers per hour, when it made landfall on Sept. 20. PREPA has been hampered by years of underinvestment and frequent turnover in management, and inefficient collections that forced it to go deeply into debt. The utility had incurred about $9 billion in debt before declaring bankruptcy in July. Regulators, including U.S. congressional committees and the island's Energy Commission, are investigating PREPA's response and the contracts it awarded to Whitefish, along with a $200 million deal with Cobra Acquisitions, a subsidiary of Mammoth Energy Services Inc. There are qualified people at PREPA to serve as director, if they take the political component out of it, said Ngel Figueroa Jaramillo, president of UTIER, the union representing PREPA's workers. Complexities of Puerto Rico's grid make it difficult for an outsider to take on the role. But anything is possible, he said. For a graphic on several companies restoring electricity in Puerto Rico, click http://tmsnrt rs2zlotys 7 ers. For a graphic on Puerto Rico's slow power restoration, click http://reat rs2az1xv5. Reporting by Nick Brown and Jessica Resnick, in New York. Editing by Margarita Choi and Lisa Shoemaker.